Watch her eyes right now. If she just came from another man's bed, her body language is screaming it. You just need to know what to look for. Here's what nobody wants to tell you. When a woman cheats, she can't hide it completely. No matter how good she thinks she is at lying, her psychology betrays her. The guilt, the excitement, the fear of getting caught creates patterns you can spot if you know what you're looking at. Today, I'm breaking down the 5 undeniable signs she just slept with someone else. These aren't theories. These are patterns observed repeatedly, confirmed by behavioral psychology, and verified by men who discovered the truth too late. This might save you years of being played. Pay attention. Sign 1. Sudden change in intimacy patterns. The first and most obvious sign, her sexual behavior with you changes dramatically and immediately. This happens in one of 2 ways. Either she becomes suddenly unavailable for intimacy with excuses that weren't there before, or she becomes unexpectedly more sexual with you than normal. The withdrawal is more common. She's just been intimate with someone else. Physically, she's not interested. Emotionally, she feels guilty. Psychologically, she can't switch between partners that quickly, so she creates distance through headaches, exhaustion, stress, or just not being in the mood. But some women do the opposite. They initiate more sex with you to cover their guilt or avoid suspicion. They're overcompensating. The sudden increase in sexual interest that doesn't match any logical trigger is a red flag, not a gift. The key is sudden change without clear reason. If she's normally affectionate and suddenly pulls away completely, or if she's normally moderate and suddenly can't get enough, both are signals something shifted. Watch for the timeline. If she was out late or had unaccounted time and her intimacy pattern changed immediately, after, that correlation matters. Sign 2, she's overly defensive and picks fights. When guilt hits, many women don't sit quietly with it. They become defensive and pick fights to justify their behavior to themselves. This manifests as suddenly finding problems with you that weren't issues before. You're not ambitious enough. You don't pay enough attention. You're not the man you used to be. These criticisms appear out of nowhere and escalate quickly. The psychology is simple. She needs to rationalize her cheating. The easiest way is to make you the villain in her mind. If you're inadequate, she's justified in seeking attention elsewhere. The fights create the narrative that legitimizes her behavior. She might also become defensive about completely normal questions. Where were you? Becomes an interrogation in her mind. Who were you with? Triggers anger instead of simple answers. The defensiveness is disproportionate to the question. Watch for blame shifting. You ask reasonable questions. She turns it into your trust issues, your insecurity, your controlling behavior. She's deflecting from her actions by making you defend yourself instead. The stoic response? Remain calm. Don't engage the bait. Her emotional manipulation only works if you react emotionally. Stay logical. Observe the pattern. Gather information. Sign 3. Phone behavior becomes secretive. Her relationship with her phone changes overnight. Devices that used to sit casually now stay glued to her hand, face down, notifications silenced. She takes her phone everywhere: bathroom, shower, getting coffee from the kitchen. It never leaves her sight because she can't risk you seeing a message pop up. The screen faces down constantly. Notifications are turned off or customized, so names don't show. She's suddenly protective of her privacy in ways she never was before. She's texting more but sharing less. The phone is constantly in her hand, but when you ask who she's talking to, it's always nobody, or just work, or a friend. The vagueness is the tell. Watch for the angle shift. She's texting and you walk up. She immediately angles the screen away or closes the app. That protective movement is instinctive. When hiding something, new apps appear. Messaging apps you've never seen her use. Social platforms she claimed she hated. These are communication channels you don't have access to or knowledge of. The bathroom texting is the biggest tell. She takes her phone to the bathroom and stays longer than necessary. She's having conversations she can't have in front of you. Password changes are another flag. The phone that was always accessible suddenly requires passwords you don't know. The explanation is always about security or privacy, never the real reason. Side 4. Unexplained changes in appearance and routine. When women are seeing someone new, their routine and appearance habits shift to accommodate and impress. New underwear appears that you've never seen her wear for you. Expensive lingerie that stays in the drawer when you're intimate but disappears on. Nights she's out with friends. She's suddenly more concerned about her appearance before going places that don't require it. Full makeup for the gym, dressed up for grocery shopping, extra effort for situations that previously required none. Her schedule changes without clear explanation. New work commitments that require evening hours. Sudden interest in activities or hobbies she never mentioned before. Friend gatherings that happen with increasing frequency. She's less available than usual but can't clearly explain why. Vague commitments that eat up her time, things she needs to do that don't have specific details when you ask. Watch for grooming timing. She showers before seeing you when she used to shower after. She's removing evidence, the smell, the physical traces, the guilt she feels on her skin. Her car has changes, different radio stations programmed, seat position adjusted, items that aren't hers. These are traces of another person occupying that space. The explanation for all of this is always reasonable in isolation. It's the pattern and timing that reveals the truth. Sign 5. Emotional distance and guilt behaviors. The final sign is psychological distance combined with guilt manifestations that she can't fully suppress. She's physically present but emotionally absent. Conversations are surface level. She's not engaged with your life, your thoughts, your day. The emotional intimacy that existed has evaporated. She's distracted constantly. You're talking. She's somewhere else mentally. She's checking out of the relationship emotionally while maintaining physical presence. Guilt shows through overcompensation in random ways, sudden gifts for no reason, excessive compliments, being overly nice after being distant. These are guilt responses attempting to balance the betrayal. She mentions the other person casually testing the waters. This guy at work comes up in conversation more than necessary. She's compartmentalizing by making his existence normal in your awareness. She projects her cheating onto you, suddenly accuses you of being unfaithful, or shows paranoid concern about your loyalty. Cheaters often project their guilt by suspecting their partner of the same behavior. Watch her response to intimacy questions about your relationship. Do you love me? Gets hesitation or overblown responses instead of simple confirmation. The guilt makes authentic affection difficult. She's creating emotional separation to justify what she's doing. If she can feel disconnected from you, the betrayal feels less severe in her mind. The Stoic principle: observe without emotional reaction, gather evidence, recognize patterns, make decisions based on reality, not hope. What you do with this information is your choice. Confront and seek truth, leave without explanation, gather more evidence before deciding. But don't ignore what you're seeing because facing it is uncomfortable. You deserve honesty. If she can't provide it, you deserve to make informed decisions about your future. These signs give you information. How you use that information determines your path forward. Stay aware. Trust patterns over words. And remember, your peace matters more than preserving a relationship built on lies.